Welcome to Notable Approvals. I am attorney Amanda Shaffer. Another exciting case to get to today. Before I do, don't forget to like us and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are watching so that you do not miss any of our lives. Today's going to be a quick one, but a good one. We have a client who lives in Brooklyn, who is a native and citizen of Guyana, who had his jointly filed petition to remove conditions on residency approved. And he had also filed a naturalization application while it was pending, and that got approved as well. So, why was it late filed, and why was there no interview? Let's find out. So this client married his U.S. citizen spouse in 2017. In 2018, he got his 2-year conditional green card. So that meant 3 months, the 3-month period before his 2-year green card expired, he had to file Form I-751 petition to remove conditions on residency. And this is one of those examples of when, it's useful to have a lawyer helping you. This client, before he came to us, he filed the wrong form. He timely filed the wrong form. He filed Form I-90, which is to replace your green card or renew your green card if you've lost it or if you have a 10-year green card and it's going to expire. And this is actually a common mistake we've seen before with people, that they file this form. So he filed this form and eventually it gets denied. And it's basically telling him he filed the wrong form was why it got denied. So he came to us, and now it's 2 years later. It was supposed to be in sometime in 2020. He comes to us in 2022. Now they're going to look at, well, what was the time period between when he found out that he filed the wrong form and the time period where he filed the right form. And of course, you always hope that you and your spouse are still together at this point. Luckily, this client and his spouse are still happily married. So he came to us. We filed the I-751, the jointly filed one, and for the evidence, we put in a statement explaining why it was late, which was exactly what I explained to you. And then we put in a bunch of joint marriage evidence, joint car insurance, joint bank account, and I always talk about the bank accounts if you watch any of my notable approvals, and I talk about how you need to use them, more transactions are better. And in this case, I looked back, there wasn't a crazy amount of transactions each month, but you could see they were paying for their joint finances from their joint account. So all of the money they took that they were using from the account was for the joint finances, which is perfectly fine, and it's actually can be really helpful not when it's only joint transactions, but when you have your joint transactions coming out of your joint bank account or what you're paying for jointly. So even though there may have been less than 10 a month, it was still really good bank statements, because it'll say on there they're paying, for example, the next thing that we submitted, which was they jointly financed a car, and it showed the payments to the car. It showed their lease payments. We also had then a joint car ownership, joint health insurance, and a joint tax return in 2021. And I didn't even know the client had filed for naturalization. Clients who've been waiting on these 751s to get approved for so long often call and say, well, what can we do? Should I file for naturalization? And I always say, that's a tough question, because on the one hand, you're eligible now because he has already been a permanent resident for 3 years. I don't know if he did this while it was pending before, because in 2021, he technically would have been eligible if he had filed the right form. Regardless, when people call, they always ask, what should I do? And that's a tough question, because you don't want things to get delayed. You want to speed things up, and USCIS might mishandle things. So it's a complicated question to answer, but In this case, it worked because it said on the form we were also approving your N400, which he must have gone to the interview for that. Again, we didn't file that, so I'm not 100% positive. But anyone who applies for naturalization does have an interview. But the wife wouldn't have came into the interview as opposed to a 751. But the joint marriage evidence was strong enough in and of itself, and when he had the naturalization interview, he obviously passed, and now not only you actually never get a 10-year green card, which is interesting. You will only get an oath ceremony letter and then a naturalization certificate. So this comes to show you, and more importantly, it only took 10 months to get this approved, which I know if you're watching this and you're like, I filed this 2 years ago, why is mine not approved? I don't have an answer for that. Honestly, it amazes me. This client, like I said, lives in Brooklyn. They're coming out of the Brooklyn field office, and I have other clients from the Brooklyn field office waiting a lot longer. I can't answer that question. I wish I could, but what I can tell you is that, my feelings on filing naturalization while the I-751 is pending, if you're eligible, I might not be as against right now. That might actually help. So I have a few clients to give a call to and talk to them about. But it does come to show you that mistakes happen. Some mistakes are not that hard to fix. They could have given them a hard time about the late filing, but I believe they did act pretty quick. And it also comes to show you that, they ended up paying money for something they didn't have to because they were trying to save money by not hiring a lawyer. Hire a lawyer, hire an experienced lawyer who knows what they're doing. Our contact information on Instagram, on Facebook and YouTube, scrolling across the bottom of your screen. On Instagram, if you go to our bio page, you can find all of our contact information there. And that's really all for today. Like I said, short and sweet. 10 months, no interview, late filed, still got approved. So congratulations to that client and on his soon-to-be citizenship. That is all for today. Don't forget, like us, follow us, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are watching so you don't miss any more of our lives. And if you found this video to be helpful or know someone who may, hit that share button so we can get this good information out to other people. Thank you all for watching and have a great day.